Peace.
Peace.
This is Joshua Miller Law, Mr. PhD. You're just now entering the cipher called Real to Real 360. KYs.
Peace, God.
Bring that beat in, kid.
Indeed.
Peace.
Yeah. What's going on, party people? Welcome to the Real to Real 360 show. Let's get it in. We do the knowledge of wisdom so you can understand. Real to Real 360 shows in full command. We changing the game for how it all was taught. From bondage to freedom to an independent thought. Yo, the show is here to bring about a change for real. To lighten everyone so we all know the deal. 360 degrees is a fact. We created the show to give our love back to our communities so we can know what's going on and give them the support from knowledge to porn. So if you're ready to learn, then it's time to go. Sit back and relax and enjoy your show. Peace.
Peace and blessings to Allah's mighty 5% nation, the gods and lords, to all the human families of the planet Earth. I bid you a love, peace, and happiness high salute. This is DJ KY's Allah, aka Kato, the Black Superhero. Welcome to an explosive and exclusive show for the Real to Real 360 tonight. But without further ado, before I bring on my co-host with the most, we want to show you something and let you know that we are very truthful and sincere about tonight's show. Well, you know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going to bring on my co-host because I think it's right to do what I need to do here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring on my co-host, none other than my brother in God, Mr. Joshua Miller.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Sure enough.
But who am I?
Joshua Miller Law.
Who am I?
Joshua Miller Law.
I can't hear you.
Joshua Miller Law, Mr. PhD.
Peace and blessings, Almighty.
Peace to Allah's 5% nation of gods and earth. Peace. Please, all the individuals who are now watching the show, please like and subscribe and share because this is going to be a very impactful show. Today, we will have the show that will deal with the violence that we see in our communities and how it affects not only the people in the community, but it also affects the mothers and the siblings and the families. So, bro, you had a clip that you wanted to show.
Absolutely. I felt that. I want to make sure I brought you on before we did this because it's only right.
Right.
And we want to stress to every family member, mothers and sons, please sit down together and watch and listen because this is very important to our communities. All right, so here we go.
Our Mother Voices provides an uncharted and unparalleled narrative about gun violence from the vantage point of those that are impacted most, mothers in the urban communities. This documentary boldly unmasks the dire circumstances that are found throughout urban communities. It intimately captures the range of emotions exhibited by mothers who unfortunately lost their sons to a pervasive form of street violence endemic to the streets of New York.
We're all joining gangs to not get hurt. You're joining gangs to, to keep themselves from being attacked.
God have mercy. And that's what it's all about, all this gang stuff.
Back to our top story now. 6 people have been shot in Brooklyn, including a child.
They want to be gangsters, but they don't know what a gangster is.
One unforgettable night.
Jobs are the whole thing. They're out on the streets hustling money, hustling drugs. And what does that lead to?
If you in the streets, it's going to happen to you. You're going to get clapped, jailed. We all going to go one day. No matter how we go, we all going to go. Everybody living and dying.
Looking back.
He got stabbed because it was blood all open from here. And that's where he passed out at.
A mother's ultimate sacrifice is the senseless loss of a child.
These young children, that's what they're looking at. They're looking at their friends be murdered.
It ain't because niggas can't fight, it's because shit real. Like, I just think if I beat a nigga up, he gonna go get his gun.
Why would you want to fight a nigga if you know you're gonna go get the gun?
He gonna go get it.
You're not a stupid nigga, so put it option 3.
Children are supposed to bury their parents. Over here it's the opposite. Parents are burying their children.
These are the stories of mother's journey through tragedy.
Yes. Again, we strive and stress for mothers and sons to sit together and watch our show, but definitely watch the documentary, Our Mothers' Voices. And at this time, we have one of the mothers on our show at this time. So, Jai, you want to go ahead and introduce our guest?
At this moment in time, we have Miss Yvette Castillo Ramos. We call her Mama Nu. We want to welcome her and embrace her at this moment in time.
Good evening, Mama.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's a blessing.
It's a blessing and it's humbling for us to have you on the show today. And we want to thank you for coming on. Also, too, like I said to you behind scenes, we want to give our condolences and we want to salute you for your strength to be able to come out and speak about your son being assassinated, slain, because it was definitely a premeditated murder.
Yes.
And this young man was 20 years old with a promising rap career, went down to Miami to perform at Club Dreams and never got the opportunity.
Yes.
So, Mama Nu, can you reflect on that day that when he left to go to Miami? How was he?
He was okay. I mean, we're used to him leaving and going away. But for some reason this day I didn't want to let him go. I just kept holding him and hugging him and begging him not to go.
Right.
I said, no, I'm coming back home. I'll be home in a few days. And I said, please don't go. But he went anyway. And I had told him, someone had told him with me, an older woman told him to don't go because he was going to come back in a body bag. And he was like, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. But that was March 16th. The following week, we got a call that my son was murdered. Well, I didn't get the call. I got the knock on the door. Sorry. And the knock on the door was that my son was murdered.
Now, normally when your son is with his friends, they go together everywhere, to the bodega, to the basketball court, everywhere. So who was he traveling with into Miami?
With his friends.
With his friends?
With the rap group, yes.
And in the documentary, it spoke about the last text message that he sent, I think at 9:15 in the morning. He felt like he was kidnapped.
Yes, he sent the text message that he just woke up. I think I'm an old lady. These niggas kidnapped me.
And where were the group members?
At the hotel. At the hotel. And he was sent. One of the guys there told him, look, we'll meet up with you. Because he was going to get a haircut and he was going to Dream. And unfortunately, he never made it to Dream.
Now, can we get just a little background on Nunu?
Yes.
Nunu wasn't part of any gang, was he?
No, they had a little group called Rich Mafia.
Right.
That's group, and that was their music group because they would do music. And he was a basketball player. I don't know what made him want to go to music, but made it. He made it. Not that he did it. My son made it, and even now I'm proud of my son. He's not here, but I'm proud of my son. I'm proud of my baby Kenneth, because from little he had an impact that he was going to make it somewhere, whether it was basketball. He was the highest point guard in FDR. So my baby did it, and he was a good kid. I mean, when he was home, he was Kenneth. When he went outside, he was New Money. But when he was home, he was either Kenneth or he was Nunu. But when he went outside, that's who Kenneth was, New Money. But he didn't change who he was. It was just his name. He was a good kid overall, not because he was my son, but he had a heart of gold for his friends. And when he called people his friends, those were people he was real close with.
Now, can you speak to the environment that he was growing up in in Gowanus?
Yes.
In Brooklyn. Can you speak to that? Let the people know that he overcame that type of environment.
Okay. So, yes, we lived in the projects. We lived in Whitehall, but my son was always in Gowanus with my nephew Mikey and all of them, and played basketball there. We came from the hood, but that's not who my son was. Kenneth wasn't hood. He wasn't out there killing people. He came from a single parent home. I was a single mom. And I have other children. I also had other children that wasn't mine, and I raised them. So we had a 3-family home in the projects, but you know what? We made it,
Right.
But Kenneth was the glue to our family. I'd be very honest. Kenneth touched so many hearts. Believe me, he left an impact on a lot of people, and it's not a bad one. It was a good one. If he loved you, he loved you. He brought you home. Right. He always gave back. It's not like if he didn't. He always gave back. He always made sure the community had. He always made sure his friends had, whether they had food, a bed. That's who he was. And if you seen how tiny he was, you'd be like, this little boy? Yeah, no, but that was Kenneth. Even when he was playing ball, they'd be like, no, that little boy. Yeah, that's my son. I'm loudest mom in the crowd screaming, that's my boy, number 4. And he'll be like, Mom. But, I was just so happy. He was a star. Not even for the music, for who he was, And losing my son, I lost myself at one time. I just didn't want to live no more,
Right.
But I had it took me a long time to get to where I'm at today, and I'm thankful for that, because I had to pray on it, because you're always told an eye for an eye growing up, But me being a mom, I couldn't see another mom going through what I'm going through, whether her child took my son to get killed or whatever it was. I just couldn't see another mom in these shoes, because this is something that's placed on your lap and you can't give back.
Right.
You know? And I'm able to speak about it today. I'm a gun advocate.
Uh-huh.
I have an organization called A Mother Silent Scream, and I'm also under Not Another Child.
Mm-hmm.
And I came forward with other mothers, and I'm thankful for them.
Mm-hmm.
But baby, this is something no mother wants to walk in. And this is why I emphasize it all the time. Like, speak to your children. I don't care how old they are. Keep being nosy. My problem was I stopped being nosy. And he used to be like, Ma, I'm 20 years old. I said, I don't give a damn how old you are.
Right.
You're still my baby.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sister who always like covered she'll lie for him. She'll put man, if she could cover the sky with her hand, my sister Tanya, she would cover the sky with her hand for that boy. But that's just who he was. He was the glue to our family, you know? Not only to my family, to his friends. I don't want to leave them out, you know? This was a premeditated execution. So, you know, this must have been planned for some time.
Right.
Because I'm not from the streets, but, you know, I know what a premeditated execution is.
Right. Now, how did his siblings adjust to what happened? Did you have to go as a family for therapy, grief counseling?
Let me say this. My children dealt with it in their own way. It took us, we didn't do family counseling. But finally, my daughter went, my little one went for counseling. She's another one that covered, you know, she was Nunu's, forget it. That was his ride or die right there, you know? My daughter, Tatiana. I think it took them some time to really accept it. Yeah, that's what it took them some time to accept that their brother is gone. Me, I don't accept it.
Take your time.
Yes.
Take your time.
I don't accept it. Sometimes I'd be like, he's in Florida. Like, I know that he's not here.
Right.
But I hate when I gotta be like, my son was murdered, and I just can't. It's 10 years. I don't want to accept it. But I'm out there fighting for justice, and I'm fighting for gun violence, and I'm out in these streets talking on the news. But I know inside of me, my son will never come back. I go to therapy. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Right. There's nothing that should be ashamed about.
Be ashamed of. We can take your time if you need.
I took, you know, it took me some time to go to counseling. I'm not even gonna lie, because I don't want to be labeled as you know, a mom and she's crazy and she's on medicine. I don't want to be labeled. I want them to see who I am. I'm Yvette. I'm Nunu's mom. But I'm still me.
Right.
With medicine, I'm still me. Everyone grieves different.
Yes.
And my children, they won't tell me. They say he's my favorite child. My FS, they say. But I love all my children.
Right.
But he had a place in my heart. He was still 19, 20 years old, asking me to clean his ears and his toes and stuff. So, you know, he was my baby. But I love all my children. But something about him from when he was little, he just did everything I asked for. Dance here, play this, play baseball. And he would do it. You know, Kenneth was special. I don't know what it was. And I hope that one day I can ask the person why. Because you never know. And I had to learn this. You never know what one is going through. I don't know if they needed money and they had to set him up. Whatever it was. And I'm glad that we're alive. And I mean this from deep down inside. And I know people will say that I'm crazy. But I forgive you for taking my son to get murdered. And I forgive the person who murdered my son. I feel like that's the only way that I'm going to get to see my son. And it would play in my head all the time that I can't hate the person. I really can't. I know people say I'm crazy, but it took me a long time, 10 years, to say, I forgive the person that killed my son. I really do. And I pray for them. I pray for their children if they have. And I would never want them to walk a mile in my shoes because, baby, this is a lifetime pain. And I would never want someone to feel this pain because I tell you this, it took me a long time to forgive this person. And I don't even know who it is.
So they never found the ones who murdered your son?
No, they didn't. They never found who murdered my. So they believe they know, but they haven't done anything yet. I'd be very honest. I had to ask myself this the other day, and I never want nobody to feel some way when I say this, but sometimes I'll be like, what the hell am I doing? Being a gun advocate in New York. My son was murdered in Florida, and I can't get no help from nobody in New York. But then again, I'm not only fighting for my child, I'm fighting to save another child. I had to learn that. I'd be very honest. My biggest fear is losing another child. Yeah. That's my biggest fear.
Now, when Nunu's body was recovered, was it in a car, anywhere like that?
He was shot in a car. And the person that was driving, we'll say Mr. M, was driving, and he slid up against a house, make it seem like they was chasing him. And he slid up against a house, and he jumped out the car and ran into a home and told them that his friend was murdered in his car. But yet, he's taking pictures in the bathroom of himself with my son's brains all over him and blood, and putting it on Instagram.
Whoa.
Little confused, but okay. And the backseat person is just in the back, just scared, not knowing what to do. I guess he was shell shocked. And I learned all of this years later because I got a call and it was told to me what happened. I feel like the people who was in the car should be responsible for this, even if they wasn't the actual one that set it up, or if they were. But I think that they both should go to prison.
Now,
was there any signs and symptoms earlier from your son saying that maybe he feels uncomfortable with certain people?
But I tell you one thing. If you go to SoundCloud and you put in Forever, Rich Mafia Forever, my son made a song a few days before 2 days before. And my son said to me, Ma, I made a song, but if I let you hear it, you're going to be on a flight to Miami and you're going to come and get me. And I said, why? He said, no, because once you hear it, somebody's going to kill me. And I said, so let me hear it. Well, I never got to hear it. I heard it the day of the funeral because his friend played it for me. And it said, I pray to God that I don't die today, but if I go, just make sure my mom's okay. He said, watch my little sister. My niece has said already. I believe.
In your professional opinion,
I believe that my son knew that he was going to. I believe that. I believe that my son knew. You know how when you know that you're going to get killed, but I just think it's a feeling in a person that you know you're gonna die. You just don't know when. And I believe that my son made that song because he knew he was not coming home and that he was gonna die. So when I did hear the song at the funeral, that made me look at people different.
The question I was going to ask was, he was in a car, and it was 3 of them in the vehicle, or 4 of them in the vehicle, and he was the only one that got shot?
Yeah, he's the only one that got shot.
Wow.
Now we from the streets, right?
Right.
Now I'm from the streets. I'm from the streets. I'm gonna say that. I know when you're killing somebody in the car, you're gonna kill this driver because you don't want this driver to go and snitch on all of you. You know what I mean? So we're gonna kill the driver and whoever else is in the car because we're not leaving no witnesses. How did just my son get shot in the head and that person didn't want to kill nobody else?
Right.
How?
And normally when a gun goes off inside of a vehicle, it rings out in your ears. So right now, I'm gonna put a pin in that, and I want to welcome Miss Yvette, and I want to say to you, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. You're welcome.
My condolences for losing your son and your strength. We salute you for being able to speak to this subject. If you can you just tell the audience what happened to your son, Miss Yvette?
You talking to me?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we calling her
Hi.
Mama New. You Miss Yvette, because both of y'all names Yvette.
No, I thought you was talking about the other Yvette, because there's 2 Yvettes.
Yeah, we calling her Mama New, and we calling you Miss Yvette.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing? Now,
I'm okay.
From East New York. You was living in East New York?
I was from East New York.
Right, from East New York. And your son was slain by a friend. If I remember.
He wasn't a friend. He was somebody that he went to school with, but like my son, to tell you the truth, my son hardly had friends. But yes, he was somebody that he knew.
And this individual,
you know, when I see all of y'all together, it brings me emotional. So excuse me if I start to cry. I don't mean to.
We understand.
No problem, man. Take your time.
But it brings me back flashbacks, especially when I see Yvette and I see Slice together.
Take your time.
I'm all right, though. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. Not a problem. We want to acknowledge you 2 ladies for coming. And so if you have to take your time, take your time. Now, Miss Yvette, the individual who perpetrated this act against your son actually came to your home and spoke to you and spoke to your grandson?
Yes, he came to me, right, and he was like, don't worry, Mom, we're gonna find your son's killer. Your son was a good guy, you know, he didn't deserve what he got. And meanwhile, he was the one that killed my son.
Wow. Wow. And this this individual we
And
saw
he
in
used to
the
go. He came to my grandson, and he told my son's son, which was 5 years old at then. He told him, you know, if you ever need anything, don't ask nobody. You could always ask me. Like, you know, whatever you need, shorty. Whatever you need, shorty. You know, if you ever need anything, you could always come to me. Like, you know.
Yeah. Wow, that's really hurtful and
that's painful.
It's just a loss for
Cruel,
words.
right? Very cruel. Like, he don't have a heart.
Absolutely.
And your son was going to move like 2 weeks later, or was in the process of moving.
Yes. Yes, him and his wife were together for 10 years. They was gonna get married, and then my son was gonna leave 2 weeks prior to what happened to him. They was gonna move from East New York because it was such a bad neighborhood. We didn't want the kids to grow up there. So my son had a job, and he made it to May. He was working as in a Jewish school, and they gave him a raise. And as soon as he got the raise, he was like, "Mom, I'm out of here. I don't want to raise my kids here. I'm leaving." And I was like, "Okay, fine. You know, anything's for he won't, you know, be out there because we didn't want to be in East New York no more. It was killing every other weekend. There was a killing. Matter of fact, when my son died, the day my son died, the detective that took my case, he was like, Yvette, I have 6 murders from Sutter Avenue, which was in East New York too, more to like Brownsville. From Brownsville to East New York, he has 6 cases of murder the same very day my son died. So it was like, that's why my son wanted to leave. He didn't want to raise his kids there because it was getting hectic, you know? But he didn't get to move, you know, because somebody took his life.
Right. Now, for the audience who don't know about East New York right now is full of Bloods and Crips. And it's hard for these young guys or young kids to walk through the neighborhood without coming in contact with gang members. And some people say that they join gangs for protection, but we see the destruction in these mothers' faces when it comes down.
But my son wasn't in a gang.
No, he wasn't in a gang.
No.
And he was a civilian. He wasn't in the streets. He was a civilian.
It's now East New York is Bloods and it's just killing.
Yes, East New York is full of Bloods and Crips.
Yes.
And
yes.
When Miss Yvette, I'm gonna ask you the same question. That day, can you recall that day that your son was slain? If it's not too much for you, how conversation you had with him before he went out, how how was he? Because we want the people to know that these are innocent young men that's dying in the streets.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with street culture. So when we look at what's going on, you look at the pain in these ladies' faces, we have to do better as a community to take care of our children.
I want to add this, that it's very important, again, for everyone who is watching, for everyone that is sharing, please bring your children in with you. Sit down with your children. Understand Our Mother's Voices, the documentary. These are two women who have gone through a major tragedy of losing a child. I remember growing as a child telling my mother, as much as and I love my mother, I always used to tell my mother, I want to go before you because I wouldn't be able to take it to see my mother go. But my mother always said to me, she says, no, baby. She says, you're supposed to bury me. I'm not supposed to bury you. And I never could take that to their fullest understanding until later on things started happening live. So again, the tragedy that
Mm-hmm.
we're facing is, and I understand it, not living through for myself, but to understand the nature of it and how painful it is for a mother to lose her child. You know, whether it's a daughter or a son, the child itself is an important part. That's life giving. And by being
Yeah, that's a pain.
yes, man, taken away senselessly is such a tragedy. And again, you have our deepest condolences on everything. You know,
Thank you.
And for those who don't know where East New York is, that's a section in Brooklyn. That's a section in Brooklyn. So, Miss Yvette, do you have any more children?
Yeah, I have two daughters. And I also have my grandkids, which is my son's son. They are very close to me. One is 19 right now, and I feel for him. I feel so much for him, but he's such a good boy. Like he works at night. He doesn't hang out. He's into, but what scares me about him is that he's a young teenager, and he owns a car now, so you know he kind of like he tells me not to do it, but I kind of like see my son in him, and it gives me a lot of fear because I'm afraid that one day somebody's gonna take his life. Just because there's so many jealous people out here in this world, they can't see somebody like with something nice and and not being in gangs because that's how I see it. Like they want you to be like dumb. Like they I'm glad that my grandson, he's just like my son. He don't have hardly no friends. He's always working. He has a girlfriend now, and I just feel for them. My daughters, I don't know, it's different. Like I feel for more for my grandson than I feel for my daughters, because my daughters, like, it's not a girl thing, it's more like a guy thing. Like you hardly see girls in gangs. Like, it's about men, young men being in gangs. So I feel for him like a lot. Like every day, I'm constantly calling him. I'm like, "You okay?" He's like, "Grandma, I'm okay." I'm just. He always tells me, "Stop thinking that something's gonna happen to me," and it's not that. It's just that I feel for him. Because I'm scared if something happens to him. I don't know if I could survive it.
Miss Yvette, did you and your daughters and your grandson ever go through grief counseling?
No, we didn't. Well, when he died, my son was 5, and no, we didn't. No, we didn't do it. But he's okay though. He likes jewelry, and this is why I'm scared. Like he has a big thick chain, and he has a car, so I'm constantly telling him, like, he just bought like a big medallion with his father's name and his father's picture. And I told him, "Why did you buy such a big chain?" And he's like, "Grandma, but I work, I like jewelry." But I'm like, "Baby, but you're not scared that somebody's gonna try to take it from you?"
Yvette, did you go?
And he's like, "Yeah, I still go to counseling, and to this day, I see a counselor two times in a month."
Oh, I see mine every week, and I see my psychiatrist twice.
No, I see
Mama Nu and Miss Yvette, being that both of y'all are living in Brooklyn or lived in Brooklyn, did you ever think about relocating somewhere else?
Oh, well, let me tell you the good news. I had a lawsuit, and the lawsuit went through, and I won my case. So yes, I'm leaving Brooklyn and I'm leaving New York because he's coming home soon, and I don't want to be here personally. I don't want to be in New York because I don't know what's gonna happen if I was to ever bump into him.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I'm relocating soon.
Wow.
I just
Yeah, and I'm taking my daughters with me, and I'm taking my grandkids with me. They're all.
okay.
I think Missy Betty.
She's on her phone. I just received word from Jeff. He'll be trying to get on in shortly. So
okay, no problem.
I didn't. I'm still in my apartment. I still have my apartment. No, I didn't relocate.
Mm-hmm. Now, you was talking about the programs that you are a part of and the ladies that helped you get through. Can you speak to a little bit of that for me?
Okay, so I have my own organization. It's called A Mother Silent Scream.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm under Arisa from Not Another Child, which we all mothers get together once a month, and we do Zoom once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a place in Harlem, and we all get together. We talk. We get to meet other mothers. I always welcome the mothers in and let them know what our group is about, and what they hear in our group is not to go outside of the group. So what we share inside stays inside. We alternate numbers. We all talk. I go out and I speak it. I go out and I speak all the time. Arissa sends me out, which we're leaving to Albany on Tuesday. And we like to help mothers who lose their children, because not only to gun violence, not only for the mothers, right now, she's in the middle putting a group together for the siblings, because I feel like I'm gonna speak for myself, okay? I would always say we forget about the children who lost their sibling.
Right.
We focus on ourselves, and that's because we don't know how. How can I help them if I help myself?
Right.
So I had to learn how to help myself and heal the best way that I can. And that was me meeting a woman named Michelle, who also has a group, and introduced me to Arisa. So I'm with the both of them, and I love these ladies, because when I tell you, when they're ready to go speak, I hear, Yvette, come on, let's go. You're the speaker. And I'd be like, huh? And I'd be like, all right. And it helps me. So I kid you not, being able to speak out and let these mothers know, like, listen, you ain't never being too nosy. When I don't care if your child was 30 years old, 40, and you know something is going on, you continually being nosy. Don't stop. Because you know what? You can't give this back. Once this is on your lap, baby, there's no giving it back. Hey, you gave me this, let me give it back. No, baby. When it's gone, it's gone. Whether it's a boy, a girl. And this is why I tell them constantly, we here 24 hours. Call our phone. We got both sides of the violence. Coco, call her. She's out. We out. We don't care if it's 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We get the call. This is what we signed up for. This is what we're doing. We're going out there to wherever the person got murdered at. So it's just not like just for 9 to 5. No. This is 24 hours. And we are here to help the mothers. We if they don't, like to say, if you don't have the energy to do this, we'll go help you set up for the funeral, get the flowers. We'll order flowers. We'll send flowers. We'll all come together. We'll be there to support the parents, the siblings. This is what we do. And I can say that I am blessed today that I can stand up and say, I can help another mother. I became strong. But believe me, behind all this makeup and all the smiles, I cried every day. And it's okay. It's okay to cry, because one lady said, you know, I people ask me, am I tired of crying? And I say, no, me? The only thing I ask one person is, please do me a favor and do not tell me that my child is in a better place. Because when they say that to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
why the hell you not there? This is
I
such a
cut them. Me too.
I have to cut them off, because that makes me.
Me too.
It takes me to another place. So you know what? Before that happens, I'd rather just go back from you. And I tell all the mothers that come, do never tell another mother, you know, baby, he's in a better place. If my son was sick and there was no cure for him, then I say, God, please, I don't want my son to suffer. I understand.
Right.
But to murder someone's child?
Absolutely.
Right. Yes.
Let me tell you something. You could lose your mother, you could lose your father. The pain when you lose a child is nothing.
It's different.
It's different. Let me tell you something. I have grandkids, and I fear for my grandkids, because I don't want them to grow up. And I say, you know what? Let me not say grow up here in New York, because you know what? No matter where you move to, there's gun violence everywhere. I don't care what neighborhood you move to. You can move to the white neighborhood, the black neighborhood. It doesn't matter. Wherever there's a gun, there's a gun. And that's what we got to stop being able. We got to find a way to stop letting it be so easy to get a gun.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
It's
now,
horrible.
Miss Nunu, Mama Nunu, and Miss Yvette, when Jeff Slice Morton approached y'all about the documentary, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How were you ready to be able to speak to it?
Okay. So I can speak freely, right? Or what I want to say?
Right, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Please,
Real to real.
Let me say this, okay? When he asked me, when he didn't ask me, let me go back. Jeff didn't ask me. Somebody else asked me that knows Slice, right? Well, I didn't know that this person was the driver's father's best friend. Let me just take a moment.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I love Slice. Let me just say this. I love Slice. That's my man. Like, I could call and be like, Slice, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And I was upset. But then again, I thank him for letting me do this. I was able to tell my story about my son Nunu. At first, I didn't want to tell my story. I didn't, because I was scared. I was scared for my home. I was scared for my children. The killer wasn't caught. So I was scared. But I wanted my story out there. So I did. I was doing the documentary. And then he asked me about, did I have another mother? I said, well, yeah, I do. My friend Yvette. And he was able to say, you know what? My friend could tell her story because she lost her child. So I was.
And I thank you so much for that.
You don't ever got to, girl. You never in life got to be. But introduce you to, because you know what? We dealing with pain. We might feel different, but we walk in shoes, okay? So I did the documentary. I didn't know that we were at today. Trust me, I know we was going to the film festival. I was so damn excited. baby. I was, and yeah, we did it.
I always tell you, I remember one day you text me and you was like, Yvette, I'm sorry for your loss. I don't know what would I do.
And Slice, what's going on, bro?
Whoa. We're stepping over each other right now.
Huh?
We're stepping over.
Yeah. Let Yvette finish talking.
Okay, go ahead.
I said, I was saying that one day I was on my computer and I got a text from Yvette Noodle. And she texted me, she was like, I don't know what would I done if they was to do that to my son. And, when it happened to her a year later, I was so devastated for her because now I know, that she felt the same that I felt. So when she invited me to the documentary, of course, I was, I went and that's how I met Slice, which I appreciate him for everything that he did for me. So, I just wanted to share that little story, with Yvette.
Like, just getting on. I want to thank you.
So,
to where I'm at today. Because without you, I don't think I could have gotten this far.
I can't.
To where I'm at today, an advocate. And I need to thank you. I need to thank you. Because of you is where I'm at. You helped me be able to tell my son's story. And from there, I knew I couldn't stop. So I thank you again. I love you for that. And I'm ready for part 2. How about that? And I'm proud of you.
Wow.
And I love you.
Love you too.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our studio right now, we have Jeff Morton, the producer, the brother who has created and brought this format to you for Our Mother's Voices. And it is an honor and a privilege to have this young man on our show. So, Brother Jeff Morton, thank you for taking the time out and uniting us with these two beautiful ladies and their stories. And we want to hear as well from you. And I know, as my brother always says, I'm going to go ahead and echo his words. Could you just go ahead and give a brief documentary about who you are and how you came to this portion?
First and foremost, I want to thank Yvette, both Yvettes, for even willing to do the film with me. And they did.
You're welcome.
They did a great job. I mean, those two mothers out of all the mothers kind of really broke me down when I did the interview with them. It was very painful to hear their story. Because I came from a place where I lost a lot of friends, a lot of close friends. So I've been shot myself. I've been shot at a lot of times. These things that both Yvettes don't know about my past, whatever. So
I do my homework on you. Hello.
So I'm just so appreciative of them. And like
thank you.
Yvette said, they like really my family now. They like my real close. I'm real close with them.
Now, Slice, what was your motivation behind the documentary, or wanting to make the documentary?
I think my mother played a part. We went to a friend of mine's funeral, and after the funeral, she said that you'll never know the feeling of losing a son or losing a kid. So as she says this, I had to walk around just to view the body, and I was so scared to say something to the mother. Like, I didn't know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I didn't know what she was feeling, you know what I mean? So that inspired me also to capture the feeling of a mother, because if you see in the beginning of the film, I showed a woman having a C-section, and just the things that these mothers go through to have a kid, to raise them up, and then to lose them. That's the worst pain ever. Like they said, I mean, siblings feel it, cousins feel it, etc. But for a mother to lose a kid, that's got to be crazy. And I seen that when I did the interview with them, they made me feel like I wish I see my mother cry for me as I was a kid in the streets, or cared where I was at. And just listening to them, it just took me to so many emotions. And I just wanted to show also, like the teens, because mostly it's the teens that's doing the killing now.
Right.
Like the impact that what they doing to these parents. It's not speaking. I don't think that narrative is spoken about enough. It seems like if you kill somebody, and the news is there for 2 days and it's over with.
Right.
What about these parents? Like, it should be ongoing. It should be a lot of things being done. I think the film that we made, when I say we, should be on a bigger stage, a bigger network, because I don't think there's a documentary that is better than ours as far as capturing what really goes on. And it's real. You know what I mean? It's real.
Now you spoke about the youth are the ones who are doing the killings, and Mama Nu talked about we need to stop them from being able to have access so easily to guns. And I watched the documentary with Brother Ron and the Bishop. Are there programs that you are lining yourself up with to help prevent some of these things that's going on in the Coney Island section of Brooklyn?
Well, no, I don't have a program because it's not that easy in my neighborhood. But what I do personally, I have a lot of respect in my neighborhood, and I've stopped murders, a lot of them, hands on, without receiving a check. You know what I mean? A lot of young dudes, they know about my past, so they respect what I say, and I did a lot of stoppage in my hood. But as far as me having my own program, I would say no. I mean, I think I've been doing this for like 20 years, dealing with teenagers. I throw parties, I throw fashion shows, and all types of events I do. So I'm always around young teens. So, when I know somebody's going astray, I check them. You know what I mean? So I was there.
Right.
And a lot of these kids need love, man. And I think that's the major thing. A lot of these teens are searching for love, and when you hit them streets, you're searching for what you're not getting at home.
Right.
It's fortunate that these two mothers right here, they really love their kids. I knew Yvette, Nunu. I knew Nunu personally. He played ball. He played ball in my hood at a point in time. He was real good too. So I knew him. So when I got that story, like she said, I got introduced from a friend of mine. I didn't even know what she just said about he was best friends with the guy, the driver. I never knew that. I never knew that. He just told me that he got somebody that lost.
It's okay. You made me say this. It's okay. I ain't mad at you.
I mean,
I love you for that.
To be honest with you, if I would have knew that, I probably wouldn't have took your story. I wouldn't have touched that. You know what I mean?
It's okay. I forgive you. I love you anyway. Maybe.
But you know what? So let me tell you how God works. That same person who introduced me to you, I don't really speak to him no more. So it must be a reason that
Yeah.
Well, you won an award for your documentary.
Not just one.
Not this one.
Just one.
You're cleaning up at the film festivals, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to.
Right. And could you speak to how that felt to be able to get this message out internationally and nationally, and to be your
Amazing.
movie to be a documentary to be accepted as well as it has been?
It ain't. Be honest with you, it ain't. A lot of people say that I'm too humble. Like it ain't even hit me yet, but as long as I can help them, I'm good. God did an amazing job with me. He saved my life, so I got to give back.
Well, let me just say this. He didn't speak when we won. I did all the speaking.
Yeah, I'm not really the talkative type. I'm not.
I say when they said, because there was a lot of good ones, and when they said, well, the winner is Our Mother's Voices, I just looked, I said, did we just win? I went up and screamed, and I was like, no, we did it. Like that was such a joy for me. That slice, I said, we did it, we did it. Like it was like,
yeah, you kind of snatched her. You kind of snatched the reward.
Where was the award show held? Where was the award show held?
Oh, you know what it is? Tell my story, and they had a like this.
Yo,
I did
oh God,
yo, wow, she sure did, bro.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Let me tell you, this was amazing. You know what? You know, sharing it with different, like we was putting it out there, and it took so many years. But we're now on Tubi, which is a beautiful thing. Thank you, Slice.
No, you can't think. A friend of mine named John Askew. He the one that plugged, childhood friend. He the one plugged me.
Well, that's good. I thank him. Thank you,
Yeah.
childhood friend.
Well, thank him for us.
Yeah.
And Homestead. This company called Homestead also, and this lady named Moni. They made they the one who really.
You see, God is good. God is good.
So is.
What I will say is this, because of Slice, we not only won one, but to say it, we were able to tell our story. And this is not the last of, this is not the last of our story, but this is not the last of my story, right?
Right.
We're going to go further with this first. This was just the first one. This was just a taste. But now, we're working on something else. And being able to tell where we were from when I lost my son to where I'm at now, But like I said, I wear pounds of makeup, baby. But over all this, I'm a broken-hearted mother who prays for justice every day. And I say, I don't want the wrong person to go to jail. I want the right person to go to jail. But what I mostly want, if I can never get justice, I will want the shooting and killing in my projects to stop. I fear for my walking out the door. I feel for the people there. And I feel like the reason why there's a lot of shooting in these projects is because the little kids are from the older kids, right? And that's because we have a community centers that's not being even used. Now, if we're able to community center and interact with the young kids and get them out the hallway, get them jobs, speak to them, because all they're learning, I see the fast money from big people, and I need a pair of Jordans. All right, watch the back door for us. We got you. I don't want that. I want to save them.
Yeah, let me say something. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think a lot of the music that being played plays a part too.
Yeah.
If you're a young
I
kid,
think so too.
yeah.
Yes.
If you're a young dude and you're listening to that type of music, they talk about killing people. So it makes it like it's the style of kill now.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
a
Yeah.
culture.
Let me say
Huh?
this.
That's
It's
a
the murder
fact.
culture that these young kids are indulging in now.
Okay, but where do you think this happens from? Where do you think your kids going out there to kill? I believe we plant a seed, right?
Right.
And it grows, right? But we're planting that seed in our home, right? I don't care how much of a good mother you are. But when your kid goes out to the world and step out on that sidewalk,
That's true.
what they learn at home, right? You can
Yup.
be the preacher. Your son is good at home. But when he walks out that door and steps on the sidewalk, your son is something else, or your daughter. Because
Yup.
kill too.
Absolutely.
But I believe when you plant it at home, you could come from the projects and become a lawyer, a judge.
Mm-hmm.
You can be whatever you want to, no matter how good your parent is. It's the kid. You get what I'm saying? Because I've seen some correction officers. I've seen people come lawyers from the projects. But when you plant that seed, you plant it and it grows. But when it grows, you can't take care of, you can't hold it no more here. It's out in the world.
That's right. That's
But
right.
you don't have to follow everybody's footsteps. Because let me tell you something.
Right.
I never heard my son talk about killing. I always heard him talk about money, but I ain't hear him talk about killing. You know, and I always told him, don't ever take a child's life, somebody's son's life. You don't want me to suffer. And I never, and this hurts me because I look at myself now, and I remember saying to my kids, I never want to be that mother on the news. And guess what? I'm one of them damn mothers on the news. And I'm walking in their shoes. I feel for my nephews. I feel for my friends. I feel for their stuff, no matter where you come from. You could be with the
Oh
richest.
God, baby, please give me some water so I could drink a pill. My head is pounding.
Put that on mute. That the mute button's on the bottom.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I want to be able to help children. But how can we help children when we don't have enough funds? How?
That's something I was going to ask. When we talk about the community center and the programs and the things like that, that's been taken away from the young kids in the community. What you teach your children at home, the community is supposed to enforce outside at these community centers.
Okay.
If you don't have the community centers, where are they going? They're going into these hallways, they're going into these streets, and they're dealing with all these other things.
But let me tell you this. It's so easy to bring a gun from somewhere else, right?
Right.
This is New York City. You give money for BS. Why can't you give some money to the small profits so we can help you? I take money out my pocket. I don't get money from nowhere. I just did a big event for my son's birthday, and I gave back book bags, food, everything. When you're small, you need to grow. How can you grow when you don't get funds from nowhere? When you don't get no help from the mayor? You don't get help from the community. Us as a community, and we only got 3 buildings, come together. But you know what's so sad? We're killing each other, whether we're on black crime or what. We're killing each other. Friends are killing friends. When does it stop? How can it stop if we're not? We can't do nothing. We can't do nothing in our community. And that's sad. That's sad. Only 3 buildings, and we can't. How can I do something? I'm not rich. I work. I work, but I make sure that I can't give back to my community. And what my son did was always give back. So I kept his legacy alive. I gave out turkeys before. I keep it alive. And you know what's my motivation? Orisa, Napa Williams. She pushes me. And when I say I can't, she said, no. You're gonna do it. You got this. And because of her, I'm standing tall still. Because I don't know where I would be today without having the foundation and the people around me. Because I'm the middle person. And I get the strength. I never really looked at my documentary Get Sick, but I finally got to sit down and watch everybody's story. And I said, wow, that's me on the TV. I told myself I never want. I don't know how I got the strength.
Now,
but one thing, if you from the ghetto, not everyone.
Now, Miss Nuno, there's no grants or anything that the city can help provide for your program or anything else?
You need okay. So you gotta have money to get LLC, to get this, to get that. You know, everything is about money. Why shouldn't they be able to help us get a LLC so we could get a grant, right? I'm working off not another child. I work with them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I plan to move out grants one day on my own. But right now, I'm with her and I'm under her. You know? So
Ms. Nuno, how can people donate to your program? How can people donate to your program to help with some of the things that you have going on?
I had my information up. I did a different cash app for that. I did, you know, and let them see what they donate is what I showed it, you know?
Right.
So I had if they wanted my bank information, they could send it. I get 3 people. Who might help me, and they might send $40. I'll get to buy a kid a pair of sneakers. All right, thank this person. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard. Believe me, it's hard with right. So I don't expect. You don't have to get.
Can you put Miss Nunu's Cash App on the ticker so they can get donations and help?
Mother's Day's coming. I wish that I could. Arisa, I love her. Every Mother's Day, she throws a brunch for us, and then in September we go to a retreat. This woman is amazing. I want to be just like her.
Mama Lou, what is your Cash App?
My Cash App is. Let me give it to you. Hold on a minute. Let me give you the right one. It is one. It's the $sign. Mama New 1. MAMANU 1. I wanna say that I feel like the mayor should help. Not only the mayor, we even got a president. Help us more. Help us grow. The one help the family. You know what I mean? Help us. Help us. I don't care. Give me $2,000. I'm gonna make that grow to something. But how can I want to go into my community. I mean, once again, this year, I'm not going to do nothing big like I did last year. But I do something every year. last year I had us, and they gave out 2 gift cards for $500. My son owns a jewelry store. Did a raffled off a chain. So if we get 2 kids this year, I want to take them school shopping. That's it. So I'm gonna get every kid. I'll put their name, and I'm gonna have 2 people pick the name. I want to be able to take kids to go get sneakers, forms, or whatever they need, and a coat. This is me giving back for the kids. If nothing more to do is do something for my, you know what I call my the death. I call it the death of those kids. Some kids always. I don't want that.
Now, Slice.
Yes.
You're working on a second documentary.
Yes.
What would be the direction for this one?
Well, I got a couple of ideas with it. Well, I definitely want to interview like 2 teenagers that committed murder. Matter of fact, they don't have to be teenagers. Just two men that committed murder, just to give their input on that. I want a mother that actually knew her kid was in the streets doing X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean?
Right.
And would let him or them to go that route. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm gonna recap with all the mothers that's in the first film of what they're doing, like she said, what they're doing today from the time we filmed. It's gonna be totally different. It's gonna be totally different.
Us as like to cover the sky with our hand for our children. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. Now, Slice, with the second documentary, I noticed that you touched on like 2-3 other families as well, and you got a chance to talk to a bishop. What was your perspective of how things have been strayed away in those communities?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I don't think we're gonna ever stop murder.
Right.
I mean, if I tell you that it's a change, I'll be lying to you. It's still going on, you know, because let's just keep it real. It's a business, man. They want us to kill each other. That's how they make money. They ain't trying to help us. We gotta love each other. We gotta help each other.
You know, the main thing that my brother and I always say, because we always talk about this a lot, is that we will publicize more about a black and white issue. If a white man kills a black man, they want to blow it up in the media.
Yeah.
But when we kill each other, where's the rallying for us to stop the violence within our own selves?
That's just bro. You just said the real.
We don't do that. And that's the problem that we should be more aware of within our own communities than anything else. We're quick to run and rally up and march and protest about white people killing black people, so forth and so on. But when we kill our own,
it's okay.
It's like it's a code of the streets that they don't want to.
I tell you, it's like the style. It's like, you know,
it's okay. And then when I say they, I mean other people who have the strong influence to make change for our community, don't even want to step up.
No.
They want to step up. We got these fake ass leaders, and I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
We got these so-called leaders that want to talk about a good game, about what we should do in the black community to stop the violent crimes committed on black people by the white man, by the police, by so-and-so. But we don't have these same people standing up talking about we need to stop the black on black crime violence that we're committing amongst ourselves. Where are those leaders in the forefront that want to stand up and say enough is enough?
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? And I may be caught up in my emotions about it, but this is real talk.
Nah, you say the real.
This is something my brother and I talk about all the time, and this is what we wanted to bring to the forefront. You know, You want to stop the crime. You want to stop the crime. We can really stop it. You put the education back into the system.
Yeah.
They took community programs out of the community. So what do we have to rely on?
First and foremost, we have to start understanding what we're worth as a people.
Absolutely.
Because we don't look at each other in the same format that we look at other races of people. We will destroy one another quicker than we would retaliate or whatever the case may be to someone else.
Yeah.
When it comes down to looking at a black and brown person, we have no remorse. Huh? We have no remorse at all. If another person from a different race come in and do something, or like back in the days, the Howard Beach situation, only thing we did was march. Nobody picked up a gun and went over in Howard Beach. Nobody picked up a gun and went into the police station when they did the situation with the plunger back in the day, or the young man Sean Bell or Eric Garner. Nobody picked up a gun, but we marching. We marching
because our people, bro, is afraid of that white skin. I'd rather kill my black person here because I'm gonna get less time, or you know what I mean. And that's ignorant. Look at Trayvon Martin killer. He's still walking the streets.
Right.
And we got all these gangsters and all these Bloods and Crips all over and they let that dude still live. Not to promote death, but that don't make sense.
The thing with
we program wrong, bro.
Absolutely,
it's wrong. Like, we don't love each other enough to say
that's the word.
We don't love each other enough. That's just it. We don't look at each other as brothers and sisters. We submit to other individuals. Now we have mothers, beautiful mothers, suffering behind senseless and meaningless killing. For what? For what? One's going to the grave and the other one's going to prison. Two people are dead. You might not have got caught now, but you eventually will be.
Facts.
So when it comes down to what we're looking at here and looking at the faces of Mama Nu and Yvette, when they talk about the pain that they felt on losing their child, the hardest part of this here is to hold our emotions back.
That's right.
Because a mother's pain is something that resonates through all communities, whether we know you or not. The very minute she drops a tear, everyone hurts. You know, it just gets to the point where we got to stop. Like Mama Nu said, you got 3 buildings in Gowanus and you can't come together. We can't say this is not going to happen here. We can't get back to the Caribbean Fest when it was the whole weekend on Eastern Parkway. We can't get back to that because certain elements have destroyed certain things.
Yeah.
So it's on a timeline.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a death trap.
You definitely right about that.
Right. So as a people, the question, a lot of times we always ask the question, and when we're going to have the meeting of the minds for the solution. Let's put the solutions on the table. Let's put some things in effect that can change. Education, job training programs. We all been through the struggle. We know what it is to go hungry. We know what it is to go without. But if we had a way to make money and take care of ourselves and take care of our families, things could probably be different. But they take away all these programs for these young men and young women, because sad to say, young women are starting to go this route.
They are. There's no money.
There's
nothing to do.
Women,
Look at the job.
And it's sad. You see young women calling each other bros, and gang banging and all this other stuff. When are we gonna come up with some solutions? When are we gonna come up with some solutions? That's the problem. We always got the questions, but we gotta have some solutions. Let's work on some programs. Let's back Mama Nu. Let's back this documentary.
The only way we'll be able to do programs in our community, we have to all get together. Let me tell you something. We ain't getting nobody in my community if I ain't got nothing for free. If I ain't giving nothing out for free, ain't nobody coming out, baby. And that's in every community, okay? And it shouldn't be like that. Let me tell you, I remember when my son first died and I wanted to protest and go to the mayor's office to get some help. I cannot get one person to march with me. Can you believe that? And that is sad. But let a white man kill a black person and everybody want to march. I want to march for gun violence. I can't get nobody. Why? I don't understand. You got to give something out for free to get somebody to march. It don't work like that. Whether you're white, black, Chinese, I don't care what color you are, what race you are. If you got a gun, you're picking up that gun. Okay? You come from a good family, there's a gun, you got a kid who wants to kill his father and mother. What happens then? Stop labeling the light-skinned people and saying we're the bad ones. No, I want to be able to help the white man, the black man, the Chinese man. I don't care what color you are. Let's stop killing each other. That's it. Let's stop killing each other and help the young kids see that there's something else in life. You understand what I'm saying? There is something else in life. There is something else in life. And if nothing more, let's direct them the right way. And the right way is not picking up a gun.
Yes.
Okay? Because my fear is a father does something wrong, he's walking with his child, they're going to kill the person's child, and then they're going to kill him. You think it's fair? And he might live in the child's life for something that the parents did wrong. I fear every day that I go to White Cross. I shouldn't. I want my child to feel safe. And she told me one day, she said, how do you know, sometimes I get scared when I go to school because they're killing people, right? And what should I do if they come to my school and the kid is shooting? You know what I told her? She better go in that damn closet and throw all the stuff on top of her, all the coats, and call me on the phone right away. Do not make no noise. Text me. Why should my daughter ask me something like that?
Right.
She should go to school to learn, not worry coming home later.
That's true.
Yep. I wanted to ask Mrs. Vet in East New York back in the day. I remember that they started the gentrification process where they go around and they're buying up all the brownstones back in East New York.
I can't hear y'all.
They're buying up all the brownstone sections back in East New York and charging a higher rent rate for those who are already there and trying to do a forced movement. Part of that is an issue of our community problems. And then when you put people in a project, which is the projects, and you put all this in a confined environment, and you combine this with no programs or releases for these children to do and get better things, you have what's called a chaotic effect within our own community. And this is what the design and scheme maneuver is in order for them to fit the propaganda or the superstition, the fact of what they feel we are. And all hindsight is they fear us more because if we unite, as Mama Nunu said, if we unite and say, again, enough is enough, and we educate ourselves in the very system that's designed to keep us down and elevate and change You change the whole scheme and maneuver of a system that was designed to keep you down, and you can change that system to benefit and better our children and our children's children for a safer environment, a better choice of living, a better job economically, educationally, build a system, build your own network, and you won't have these issues. But until we figure it out for ourselves and we keep seeing what's being fed to us as the right way, because like I said, it's easily led in the wrong direction, but hard to be led in the right direction of finding your known truth. And when it's presented, we have to stand strong and fight alongside. I don't ever want to see another mother crying because another child, their child is dead laying in the street over nonsense. Enough is enough. Black people, brown people, enough is enough, period. We should be living long lives and enjoying each other's company instead of trying to fight like crabs in a barrel to see who's on top. Slice, I want to thank you, my brother. I thank you for your documentary. I thank you for bringing these two dynamic mothers here on our show. You know, and we're looking for more and more better and greater things to come. And I also thank Irene for plugging me in with you for this. So I just want to let
you're right. I forgot about Irene. Yes. Well, thank y'all too, bro. I appreciate this.
Thank you.
Definitely. We have to definitely bring y'all back because they're doing part 2 on this here. And maybe before you let debut your next documentary, we can bring you back.
Thank you.
And bring the ladies back so we can definitely support and promote it.
Yes.
Because right now we are definitely we ran over a little bit, but we have to get this message out. And I want to thank you as well as the ladies, Mama Nu, Miss Yvette. And trust me, it's heartfelt. I'm getting nothing but texts on my phone and inbox messages about you ladies. Any way that we can help support, get in touch with us, let us know. We can get the Cash App, whatever program is needed. But right now, I want to thank y'all all for coming on. And Big Bro, take it over.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anytime. I'm here. Thank you so much.
Me too.
Thank you all. Before I think, Jeff, is there any way that outside of Tubi can people get a chance to view and watch the documentary of our mothers' voices outside of Tubi?
No, not outside. Right now, it's just on Tubi.
Okay, so we want to stress that. Go to Tubi to watch our mothers' voices. You won't be disappointed. Trust me.
It should be on Netflix.
Yeah,
it should be.
It should be.
That's the goal.
Okay.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you all and everything. You know, we truly thank you for coming on. And again, if there's anything that we can do right here on the Real 360 show, please don't hesitate.
Thank you.
Do our due diligence. All right.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Yo, Slice, hang out for a second.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, ladies. Good night, Miss Yvette and Mama Nu.
Take care.
Okay. I'm about to end this here, but Slice stand back forward and we'll be good. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all for participating and watching this show. It's truly epic and exclusive. And we thank you again, Brother Slice. And we will see you when we see you people. Y'all take care. On behalf of my brother in God, I love you to death, my brother, Joshua Allah.
You know what it is, man.
Real 360 show. And you hear it like it's supposed to be. The real. We will see you when we see you, people. Peace.
Peace.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting to come to the end of the show. Right now, I want to take the time out and thank our guests for coming on. Also, too, we want to make sure that y'all listening and subscribing and tell a friend and keep sharing because we're going to keep bringing y'all the real content. You know what I mean? So DJ K-Wise, my brother, take us up out of here, son.
True indeed, true indeed. I want to give a big shout out to the nation of guards and nurses, to all the human families on the planet Earth. I say peace. But to our subscribers, those who continue to watch and listen to the show each and every time we come on, I give a big shout out of love, peace, and happiness to you. To peace, the man, woman, and child of the you and I verse. It's time for us to disperse. We bring the best, not the worst. We thank you once again for tuning in to the real 360. Bring a friend to hit that like and subscribe, so we continue to grow to bring more knowledge and wisdom to you. Upon our show, you make it possible for us